What's up, music fam? I have some really bad news. The beat-making community is crowded and oversaturated, and it has been for a while now. But here's the good news. You can still stand out from the crowd and carve out your own space as a music producer. Yeah, you can still be successful as a producer. It's just gonna be difficult if you don't find a way to be unique. So I'm back, making a couple of R&B beats as I tell you how to find your signature sound as a producer. If you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Before I get started, I want to give a shout out to one of our fellow producers. This brother's been a big supporter of mine, and he reaches out every once in a while to just keep me motivated and give me a kind word. Well, unfortunately, he's had to take a couple of trips to the hospital lately, and I want to ask you all to keep him in your prayers. Not only is he a talented producer, but he's also become a friend of mine. So if you don't mind, drop our brother Lifetime a comment, and let him know we're all thinking about him. That's spelled Lyfetyme. So Lifetime, I just want to tell you thank you for all your kind words, brother. Get well soon, because I'm looking forward to making some music with you. Alright, let's get into it. So when it comes to finding your signature sound as a producer, there are a lot of layers to it. I started producing at the very end of 2002, so I've had a lot of time to think about this. And I want to give you some advice so you don't have to go through some of the trial and error that I've had to go through. So here's the secret to finding your signature sound. Be yourself. Knowing who you are is going to be the #1 factor in finding your sound as a producer. But let me break that down a little further. So for this to really work, you can't be afraid to be just a little bit vulnerable. Allow yourself to really hear what you like. For example, if you hear a song in a movie and you find yourself drawn to a type of music you've never really paid attention to before, don't be afraid to explore something different. You might hear an instrument or a sound you've never heard before, and it touches a certain emotion. It's very important that you don't suppress that feeling or emotion. Don't just shut it down. Even though factors like your culture, ethnicity, or even age or generation might play a part in your sound, that doesn't mean you shouldn't be free to explore other sounds and genres. Even to this day, I'm still learning to produce in different genres, and this has given me the chance to work with people from all over the world. To the younger producers, I'd say to definitely keep an open mind, because you never know what opportunities might come your way. And the same for the more seasoned producers. If music is what you love, don't ever allow anyone, even yourself, to say you're too old to learn something new. Remember, music doesn't know age, race, or any other excuse you might use to hold yourself back. Like I said, you have to be a little bit vulnerable and allow yourself to feel what you feel if you really want to find your sound as a producer. Try going to a place by yourself where you can really enjoy some music you've never heard before, and allow yourself to enjoy and appreciate that music. Once you do, start to take note of the sounds and different things of the music that you're drawn to. You might be surprised how much this one thing affects your production and your signature sound. Now, I just said that factors like your culture, ethnicity, or age shouldn't hold you back from exploring other sounds. So you might be surprised to hear me say that those same factors can play a big part in helping you find your signature sound as a producer. For example, I would expect a Latin producer to have at least a little percussion in his music. And I would very much expect a person from, say, Nigeria to have at least a little bit of that Niger sound that's taking the world by storm right now. If you're around my age, that 90s R&B sound might naturally be heard in your music. And if you were raised in church, you might be someone who uses a lot of chord changes. See, a lot of times we can feel like we're being put in a box, and we naturally want to run in the opposite direction of a stereotype, because as artists we're all individual and unique, right? But sometimes we can try so hard to not fit in a box that we lose our identity. The truth is that our culture, ethnic surroundings, and generation all play a part in shaping who we are as individuals. And I think it's a beautiful thing when we can allow those factors to help shape our signature sounds as producers, while still being open to new musical experiences. So as I go through these tips, you'll start to realize that you don't really have to seek after a style or a sound. If you really allow it to, your signature sound will find you. And this brings me to my next tip on how to find your signature sound as a producer. By using your own life experiences. See, before we were ever producers, we were human beings with real life experiences. And every experience came with an emotion. You might hear a chord you heard when you were 4 years old and not even realize it. Then 20, 30 years later, that chord might make you sad, happy, angry, or any other emotion. You might not realize why, but you might incorporate that chord into your production to create that same emotion for others. You might not know why it makes you feel a certain way, but the point is that you allow yourself to feel your music. When Tupac said, "I remember Marvin Gaye used to sing to me," he had me feeling like this songwriter was describing a memory. He was describing an emotion, an experience that helped to shape him as a person and as an artist. And thankfully, he put it into his music for us to feel the same thing. When we produce, even when we're not using words, we can share our life experiences with others. But we can only do that when we're being authentic, true to ourselves. Sure, it's good to get production tips and pointers, but we should only use those things to tell our own stories through music. And we can only do that with our own signature sounds. Your signature sound should be a culmination of your life experiences, combined with all the music that touched you in some way. It shouldn't be an imitation or a copy of any one person's sound, but a reflection and a tribute to all the musicians and producers who influenced you. So if you've gotten this far and you've applied these steps, you're really close to mastering your signature sound. Now it's really time to start putting your music out there, because that's going to be critical for this next step. The next step in finding your signature sound as a producer is to listen for feedback. I can't tell you how valuable and critical this step is in finding your signature sound. A lot of times as producers, we overlook the words of artists, listeners, or other producers when they're giving us one of the most important parts of our signature sound: feedback. If an artist tells you, "I like it, but," really listen and take note of what they're saying. And if you're fortunate enough to have more than one person tell you that same thing, you should definitely consider what they're saying. We can buy 100 keyboards, get all the latest drum machines, and buy all the latest VSTs. But none of these things are as important and valuable as feedback. Some feedback is verbal, but make sure to also look for the nonverbal feedback. Things like someone closing their eyes and enjoying your music, bopping their head, making a certain face when they hear a certain sound or chord, or even rewinding a certain part of your beat. And if you're in a session with an artist and they start to hum over a beat, just know that you need to make those types of beats more often. Listening to feedback, not hate, but honest feedback is one of the biggest growth hacks when it comes to finding your signature sound as a producer. And then here's my final tip in finding your signature sound as a producer. Once you've applied all the other tips, the only thing left to do is to just make the music. No, don't go and listen to someone else's music. Don't go watch a tutorial. Just turn your equipment on, just put your hands to it and make some music. Whatever you are inspired to make. Sure, you might have something in mind when you start. And sure, you might be influenced by another song you heard and want to make something similar. But do you. Instead of trying to make it sound like what you've heard before, just allow yourself to flow and make what you make. If you come across a sound you like, try it out and see how it works. Don't be afraid to not sound like what's trending. Don't be afraid to sound too this or too that. Just let the music flow. You might be surprised when you allow your signature sound to flow through you and out of you. And that's when you'll realize that while you were searching for your signature sound, it was inside of you all along. Alright, music fam, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you found this video useful. If you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, y'all be blessed.